Greetings Traveler Challenger here. Today I am playing Gothic Remake but using only my fists as my main and only damage source. In the original game this would be almost impossible, but here combat has been reworked and now there is a teacher that can show us how to fist fight better, so I am very excited for this one. Let the challenge begin. Rules: using only fists to deal damage. Playing on the hard difficulty. Run ends with killing the last boss. This entire build starts from the very beginning. As you might know, humans have two hands which they can use for fist fighting. I don't know why I'm explaining basic anatomy, anyway. Fists at level 0 deal damage of 1 per attack, plus damage from strength. But as you can see from the mole rat fight, this will not be that easy in the beginning. Get the hunting knife from the scavengers and enter chapter 1. Immediately talk with Drax so he can escort me to the new camp. Experience is the name of the game in this case. I need level 5 as soon as possible to get proper training and enough strength to start dealing damage to the enemies. As of now, fighting anyone is a lost cause. Drax is one of 3 NPCs that can lead me somewhere else, and that I can leech off experience from. So now it is more Drax's turn. Buy 1 wolf skin off him and once again to the new camp we go. Thankfully he is taking an entirely different route than Drax, and he's much more resilient than him. It is much harder for monsters to kill him, and thanks to both of them I am already halfway to level 3. One more trip back to the old camp, buy blank parchment of Graham and complete the quest for Torres. I could get a healing rune now, but no wasting point yet. Talk with Dusty and to the swamp we go, with an excellent company of Balparves. I am always trying to lure more monsters to him, and this time he cleared mole rats near neck, so we can get the amulet right away. Parves is really tearing through wildlife, even if I am getting him more and more than he can chew. Thankfully he is powerful and uses potions to heal, so he's not as vulnerable to dying as Drax is. We get to the swamp completing the quest, and now I am at level 3 with 1.5k missing from the next. Time to do something on my own. In the swamp I will just do 2 things for now. Steal Callum's recipe for Dexter and talk with Melvin. Now back to the old camp to do quests here. Thankfully most of them can be done without fighting. I already have amulet for Sly, ingredients for Snuff, led Mordrak out for Taurus, and got Dexter the recipe. So now buy back Whistler's sword from Fisk and let's steal the ring from Scatty and turn those quests back. Now I don't want to give back next amulet yet, so let's get a little bit bulkier by getting 30 strength from Diego and see if I can do any lesser monsters. Alright, we are in business guys and gals. Time to clear a bit, punching mole rats and scavengers alike to getting another level. I got 10 more strength with that level and went back to the beginning to settle the score with the wildlife. I need 3000 experience for the next level. That means that I would require to kill a bit of monsters and do quests in one of the camps to get it. I also need to complete the rest of the stuff in the old camp. Can I one punch a bloodfly? No, I cannot. They are scary as hell. I punched some more monsters, get 1 wolf pelt from Cavalorn, 5 Kingstide from the lake, and got book from Jan. So now it's time to visit Cell to give him materials. He needs to get me my own scavenger mount. And with the book I can start the Beasts of Corinis quest at Cavalorn, getting some XP. Time to see if I can beat up any NPCs. Go with Grim to spring their trap and literally first try the entire gang squad fight. This is pathetic guys, even for you. I tried battling Kirgo for arena quest, but for now I just don't have enough stunlock potential to really beat him. To the old mine then. I need to get the list from Ian anyway for the test of Cave quest. That can give me a lot of XP. but there are also two side, very minor quests that can be done for some XP. Quickly grab whatever is needed, so now I can move to the new camp to do some good there. First things first, when moving here it is actually go past the camp to the free mine. I need whatever help I can get, preferably free of charge to matter in this world. That's why visit there is mandatory in every run, as getting free armor and Ring of Vitality can help everybody, and the only reason I did not do it earlier is because there are monsters on the road that would be hard to outmaneuver earlier. One last thing here, if you go out of the mine and turn right into this clearing, there is a shrine here on which you can find the Essence of Life elixir, giving +5 to maximum life. Every bit helps. Remember kids, protection is important, so I am getting as much of it as I can while being here. On the isle past the tavern there are a couple of wolves guarding the cave in which there is a ring of iron skin, giving 10 to both blunt and edge resistance. There is a damn lurker here. I need to kill him for a quest. He is a bit easier than the normal ones, but still packs a mean punch. I thought I will not be able to match him, but after 3 tries, I managed to beat his ass to death, and turning that quest finally gets me to level 5. First go to Kronos to buy Remedy, and now to Jan. He resides just outside of the main entrance of the new camp. If you are level 5, he will give you a quest to bring him the medicine, after which he can teach me how to fight better with my fists. While previously moveset was slow and could not combo anything, now hits are much faster. I can chain punches infinitely. There is a possibility to do critical strikes, cancel animation and parry blunt damage attacks, and that is only the level 1. There is another level that we can get, but that requires defeating Jan in the octagon, and this is something I cannot do. Dude is a menace and one-shots me every time. I need more health, protection and possibly acrobatics. Oh my god, the speed and damage is amazing. I am able to deal with lizards or even adult scavengers. Also, the uppercut attack now knocks them back. This is way better than I expected. At least for now. Time to do some work. Get farmers their water, report to Lefty and beat his shit for brains out. Funny I can block spike clubs with my fists. Hand out some delicious herb samples for Balkagan. Then I will take telekinesis, charm and sleep scrolls as a reward. Use charm on Roscoe, talk with Lares to get extra XP, give him back Mordrak's ring, and list that was meant for Diego. I will not become Shadow in this run, so whatever. Beat up Shrike to get the access to my own hut and questionably cozy bed. Ask Ricelord about any job, then head to tavern and talk with Silas. Then to Raik about his behavior, convince Isidro so I could help him sell his part of herbs, and sell them to Cypher upstairs. Last thing is to talk with Jeremiah about Horatio, as he will be able to get me 5 strength later on for free. Report back to Ricelord, getting level 6. And more or less the last quest here is to find Bran. Ask Malon about his whereabouts, and outside we go to find and beat Jacko in his cave. And finally learn more about the missing foreman. Swim under the tavern to find his body and axe. Confront Silas about the situation. Finally report back to Ricelord, so now I have done everything here except one quest that will be completed in just a moment. Before heading out, I also learn acrobatics from Buster. This allows me to perform dodge rolls, which will be very helpful in combat against certain enemies. Also, fall damage is halved now. I can go back to the old camp to do the rest of the stuff there, claiming my scavenger on the way. Give Diego back the altered supply list. Doing that gives me the access to the inner circle and the castle. So I will take the letter to the fire mages and get the quest from Syrah. Now it's payback time. It took me several tries to down Kirgo, and my strategy was not the one I wanted it to be, but I cannot parry or block his attacks. Rolling was the best way to avoid damage, and jumping attack had enough reach to take him down. Naturally, I wanted to check if Karim is within my reach, but no, I am not doing enough damage at this moment, but time will come for him too. Because I gave Diego the altered list, I earned Lares' trust. So there is one last special assignment that in the original you just heard about, but here you can actually take a part in the raid of the convoy. Go to Gorn and choose a weapon. There are some good choices here, which in my case does not matter. Going out, I received a notification in Glossary about Silas. Seems he's dead. I did nothing to him, and sure enough in Tavern Jeremiah took his place. Well, if you have done requests for Rice Lord and rat out Silas to him, you can then find the body of the mercenary in the lake, shackled to the ground. Just amazing detail. Meet up with Wedge for the ambush. Convoy is at halfway point between Old Camp and Old Mine. Top with guards to distract them, and now the raid starts. Bandits are knocking down the guards, while I am frantically looting everyone. XP is flowing from each defeated NPC. It is heaven. I can also loot bandits without any consequences for even more profit. After everything is done, talk with Wedge again. Sadly, I cannot report back to Lares, as this would automatically make me a bandit and a member of the new camp. Why sadly? Because I just want to join the sect. Brotherhood of the Sleeper camp is in the swamp. Really, for this particular build, it does not matter which one I choose, but somehow it feels appropriate to do so. Level up strength to 60 and escort Dusty to swamp. Now, to fulfill the first quest needed for Bal's approval, but I need to go to sleep to pass the time, so Tondral will be in his place. Since I have sleep scroll, I will impress Bal Kadar. Find the Harlock, then two-shot him by punching him furiously. Talk with Lester and ask him about Namib, go back and renounce the gods. This left a lasting impression on the bold one. Last quest is to get the harvest from two sides in the swamp. This one is a bit problematic as it involves fighting a lot of bloodflies, which I have to deal 2 blows to kill, and they are dealing so much damage to me it is obscene. Their damage type is piercing, or point it is called in this game, that I don't have any resistance to. That is why acrobatics have such an important role in fighting them. Following the calling of these blood-flying bastards, I grab Balor's part of the package, then get the second part from Viran, earning me another level. Bring Korkalom both parts of the harvest and finally report back to Orun. All the quests in the swamps are done. I have done everything I wanted in this act, so it is prime time to join the Brotherhood, earn my place in the community and get their armor. Admission process is, as you can see, very simple. With that we are entering chapter 2, Minecrawler's Nest. First of all, I got my first tribal armor, which is very bad in this state, and is kind of unique. As you can see, upgrade path, it only has one upgrade choice in each slot, while Shadow's dress and Bandit's armor in other camp has 6 in each. I grabbed 2 upgrades as I don't have more money, and now to do some tasks for Kalom. Back to the old camp, and yet again 10 strength from Diego, and now to deliver swamp wheat for Gomez. Torus let me go to the castle and talk with Bartolo. Easy stuff. Second quest involves thwarting the bandits that are producing, as they are, say, moonshine weed. Those are the guys in the cave outside the new camp that I had one quest with earlier. There are dialogue options to do this without any fight, getting 500 XP. But I choose violence. Those fists are pure carnage of the highest sort. Also, by beating and killing them, I can instantly loot the cave without much consequence. Renu, I did not forget about you. You are the missing link to complete this quest. Last quest here is for the main plot, going to the abandoned mine to find Kane, who is a missing apprentice of Korkalom. Bribe Ori with some delicious grass and in we go. Damn it, I forgot to learn climbing, so I will miss some stuff here. Dive in for the detached winch, then slam dunk some minecrawler nymphs and open the gate. Mole rats are getting slammed, but their mother, that is a different beast. I cannot block her to mitigate the damage, and she can kill me in just 2 bites. So I have to be nimble, jumping around, punching whenever there is an opening. This looks silly as hell. Last hurdle here is the undead orc. No idea how well this will go. Oh, he's easier than Mole Rat Mother. Wow, I did not expect that. Grab the stuff needed for the quest and it's time to go back to the swamp, but on the way I killed some more monsters that yield me another level. Namib is at the entrance, so I got the last upgrade for my armor and went to Kalom to turn all 3 quests, getting almost 2000 experience for that. Then before I forgot, I learned climbing from Teron and complete that quest too. Now that I progressed the plot where I have to get the focus stone, it seems Namib can in fact upgrade my novice armor even further, which I was not aware before. A bit misleading, I must say. No matter, I cannot afford it. So onto the quest. We beat some wolves and Nairas decided that he will just run in the opposite way for absolutely no reason. Come back! Come back! God damn it, there are so many wolves in here. Thankfully, I am no longer useless. So my fellow brother in Sleeper feels the support and the prospect of punching, uppercutting the big chickens in their beaks is just peak comedy to me, especially that the sound effects are so meaty. Pile drive Nairas and get the focus stone from him, to then get it to Iberion. Before next quest, I think I will need to level a bit. The most important thing would be the shortened time to kill certain monsters. Maxing out strength through learning points would be the one thing, so time to grind. While grinding for XP, I went near the old mine to these goblins. I can one-shot them pretty easily, and in one of the chests there is a ring that gives me +5 to strength. I meant to get it from Kronos, but this is cheaper. I went through the entire colony to beat every mole rat, scavenger, bloodfly, lizard and wolf that I could get my hands on. And I am short 2000 experience for level 12, which would give me max strength. I still leveled to 95 and went to Talas and Milton to progress the next quest, and I also got second ring of power from Torres as a reward from earlier. With that strength I can two-shot adult scavengers, but more importantly I can do the same with those pesky black goblins that this cave has plenty of, and which I need to get through for the almanac. I also wanted to get armor upgrade before this bit, but money is not something easy to come by yet. Alas, black goblins carry morning stars, which can sell for pretty penny, so I will get what I need before the next quest. The last part of the cave was a bit tricky. There are 5 goblins there. They can throw rocks, so I cannot stand above them. Only way to go is to deal with them as quickly as possible without much running. Finally, I was able to do it and claim the almanac for the quest and Ring of Greater Life. Get the almanac to Iberion, then talk with Korkalom for the follow-up, and lastly Korangar tasked me to duel one of the Templars. Because I cannot parry him, it is best to just run around, bait his attacks and do jumping attack. 5 times in this case. Once done, I learn how to get Minecrawler's biters. So I am to bring the essence from the creatures in the old mine. But before going there, I sold enough stuff to afford the last upgrade of my current armor for maximum protection. There is, however, something I wanted to check for a long time, and I waited with this until I had 100 strength learned. You see, there is a guy named Horatio. He is a farmer in the new camp. If you talk with Jeremiah first, who is in the tavern, and then speak with Horatio again about teaching strength and choose right options, he will teach you 5 strength for free, and the best part, that it can exceed the maximum limit of 100, as you can see. While I am here, I will try to beat Jan for that 3rd level in fists. I will employ his strategy. With current strength, I should be able to defeat him, and I did it on the first try. God damn it, again 10 learning points when I have 5. I will get that before going to the mine. Time to clear what previously seemed impossible. I had this epic brawl with multiple enemies, mostly black goblins and lizards. Nearby for like a minute, I was hanging by a thread waiting for that one shot to happen, but I managed to pull through and I got my missing level by stomping those 2 blackmailers near the bridge to the new camp. I am ready to master the art of punching Jan. Teach me. This last level of proficiency gives me more damage, ability to do riposte after parry, ending combos with the uppercut move, and generally makes this, let's say, weapon easier to handle. Moveset did not really change. I think punches are a little bit faster, and I am really wondering what do they mean that fists do more damage. Weapon tooltip still shows 1 damage, so maybe the strength multiplier is different, or is it just flat damage amount? Old Mine beckons me. I can't do much more to power up my character at this point, so let's go. In one of the shafts there is a elixir of strength, giving me +1 to the attribute permanently. I just have one problem. Mine crawlers are tough enemies. I cannot stun them or kill with one punch. I cannot block or parry them with fists. Their attacks are very fast, so even with dodges I am still getting hit half of the time. Dealing with more than one at the same time is just a death wish. There is also hidden loot here. Just above the gate to the tunnel that is collapsed, if you jump here and make this jump here, there is an insanely good two-handed sword, Bloodblade, available here with 85 damage. Just make sure to have acrobatics, as I am not sure if you can do it without it. Second thing to get here is the Potion of Power. But to get it, you need a Bloodflight transformation, which you can get from Balkadar in the swamp. Go to the shaft where Cog is, that is needed to be taken to Jan, go up the rafters, use Light Spell for visibility and transform. Now you want to spam the attack to maintain the altitude, as there is a platform on the other side of the cave. Here you see a couple of items, most importantly Potion of Power, which gives +2 to strength and dexterity permanently. While doing all that, I got my 3 Templars for protection and permission to blow up the rubble. So let the punching commence. Fight Club is open, boys. Except I just cannot get past them. When I kill one, there is another. I think there is about 7 mine crawlers in chain here that is getting aggroed when one is killed. Time to change the strategy. I already have 2 rings that gives me 10 strength that I am not using, simply because with them I still need 2 hits to down 1 mine crawler. But I will get this amulet from Kronos that will give me another 10 strength, so 128 in total. That is not all. Now for the potions. The first one is easy to get in, as in the shipwreck near the swamp. Jump here and then here, then down and use the telekinesis on the corpse. 1 down. Second potion is also in the shipwreck, just on the beach with the fire lizards. I need to open this door either by lockpicking or key, but latter is unobtainable by now. Inside there is plenty of good stuff. but I am mostly here for extract of strength +2. There is also an amulet here that is a direct upgrade to the next amulet, so I can give it finally to Sly. Last potion that I can think of for now is in the Broken Watchtower near Cavalorn's hut. You can get here by either lockpicking the door, opening it with the key from the nearby bandits, or jumping onto the climbable surface on the side. And if you open the chest on top, there is another potion with +1 to strength, giving me 132 of the attribute in total for now. My persistence paid off, as now I can just one-shot minecrawlers, and this place is so much easier with it. There is still a matter of dodging their attacks, but now simple jump attack, or any other for that matter, is just a coup de grace. Now for the part that I have been dreading, Minecrawler Queen. I kid you not, this is how phase 1 looked from my side. I won't re-record this because this is pure gold. For phase 2 my first attempt was unsuccessful, but after that I just quickly closed the gap and stayed on her side, punching relentlessly trying not to die. Fight was over rather quickly, to my surprise. Last thing before I leave, you see the queen drops something that is called pheromone gland, which you can turn to various NPCs for different rewards. But did you know that you can get more than one? 4 to be precise. Go here, turn into Bloodfly again and fly using the attack. Once on this ledge there is a little room to transform back, but once you do, there is an egg here with 3 additional glands. You're welcome. Time for the Great Awakening. I love that this whole cutscene isn't pre-rendered, but entirely done in engine, meaning we can see our character wearing exact armor and weapons that he uses. I love this. Oh, you big mantis, I'm coming for you. Your face looks so punchable. To the Orcish Cemetery then. It is great that I have the ability to parry the blunt damage attacks. Seriously, it is so useful. Except it isn't, or it's not working, because every single monster I am encountering does not do blunt damage, so most of the time I have to kill them outright or dodge roll like it is Dark Souls. Do you have a problem with orcs in the remake too? I feel that they are not scary as in the original, or very challenging for that matter. This is my 3rd playthrough and I cannot say that as an enemy they feel oppressive as before. Explore the place further with Bal Lucor, and in one of the burial chambers there is another elixir of strength. It is never enough, and really this is the only way of progression for now, as learning points will give me alchemy, but resources to create permanent stat potions are limited. Lucor, let's talk this out, please, or at least have an honorable fight is in order. Ah, screw you too, man. I have everything I need, so now back to Swamp to report and enter chapter 3. Yes, Angar, I will gladly see you tomorrow. To not waste any time, I went to Angar immediately. He wants me to join the Templars, to which I fully agree. I need a better armor to protect me against my own stupidity. We are tasked with spreading Iberion's ashes in one of 2 places, either in the swamp near the Great Tree or in the Orcish graveyard. I chose the tree. I thought it would be the place where Swamp Shark Mother spawns later, but then I realized it is the one with the sprawling roots near the sites of the wheat harvesters. Spread the ashes, then some of the novices from Kalom's camp bother me, so I sell them the knuckle sandwich. Talk to Angar, then Gorna Tot, who give me the basic Templar armor. This armor, unlike the novice one, has more upgrades available outright, and it seems that all of them can be get all at once. I noticed that both of those are really good all around, while armors from the other camps can be, let's say, specialized to various needs. I had to sell half of my inventory to both Darion and Balkadar to afford all the best upgrades, but 1800 ore later I have my fully upgraded Templar armor, which is twice as good as what I had before and looks super good. At the site before the cemetery there is a Column Codes now, and 3 of its novices are not happy with the state of things, so I help them to do a little prison break. Culmination of this quest is fight with 2 Templars, and novices must leave. So this might be the stupidest fight I took so far, as at one point I killed 1 Templar and second one just downed all of us, but he did not kill anyone, so I came back up and just completed the deed, also robbing everyone of their possessions. Since I don't need alchemy yet, I decided to put my points into lockpicking, as learning points now are kind of useless to me anyway, and this will allow me to break those locks a little bit easier. Visit the water mages to start the Focus Stone quest. More importantly, Kronos here sells 2 rings of +7 to strength, which is the highest there is in this slot. Now to Tower of Mists to meet the gang. I won't go down to the dungeon to start the Stranger quest, although reward for it is very nice, so let me focus, pun intended, on the stones. First site is just around the corner, so together with Gorn we go snap the snappers out of this reality to get an insight on how to get to the monastery, as it seems that despite me having an absolute stones for fist, they are not enough to break the gate. Once inside, I did not start fighting snappers outright, there are just too many of them. I tried opening the gate for Gorn, but hero is not protected during the animation, so I explored to find the elixir of strength. Then I went back to the courtyard to drag out snappers one by one and kill them, healing between every single one, as I can only take 2 attacks before they kill me, and avoiding those is just very hard. True test, however, is in the cave below. Shadow Beast is a pain. I did this fight over and over and over. His moveset is unpredictable at times and animation cannot be seen, so I am getting hit seemingly out of nowhere, or the reach is just insane for some lunges. This took me close to 30 tries before I got good enough in dodging the attacks. Also, turns out I can block some of them, but the damage is still significant. Get the stone and back to Gorn to beat up Juvenile Troll. Fortunately, Gorn received his full attention, so I was able to just pound his ass into oblivion. Boy, that came out wrong, and claim another level. Troll Canyon is next. Meet up with Milton and blast some goblin warriors. I'm just a little bit short on strength to one-shot them. Gather loose troll fur, so our fire mage can fashion a scroll of shrink monster to be used on the adult troll. Just be careful, as the beast even in such form can kill you outright. This part I thought will be much harder, as there are 4 harpies here that guard the stone. And you know, fists cannot shoot, so I am at their mercy to come down to rearrange their faces. Fortunately, they are kind enough to do so, except the last one had a staring contest with Milton for a couple seconds. Anyway, get the stone and watch the big bird fly away. That is seemingly Zardas spying on us. Third area that we need to visit is Stonehenge. Diego is already waiting. Light up the torches and deal with skeletons. I am wondering if I could take on Tower of Mists in that case. Go down, and here my fists are kind of useless. This fight is very easy if you have at least 1 point into bow, or firebolt rune is even better, as you can quickly shoot the 3 buttons to activate the trap. In my case, I have to wait approximately 3 years to fire 1 arrow, and this whole ordeal took me way longer than expected. Before moving to the last one, I went to the new camp and finally learned alchemy from Riordan. This will help me with self-sustain and eventually allow me to brew some permanent stat potions too. So with that I moved to the last site. But to get there we need to deal with the pack of bloodhounds, which are not easy enemies for me. Honestly, none of the mid to late game monsters are easy at this point. With this build, I'm struggling most of the time, just because I cannot parry them and healing is scarce, as merchants just don't have enough money to buy my stuff off. Hold on Lester, I have one thing to get. Nearby is the old destroyed citadel, and if you climb this tower to open the chest, there is a real treasure here, an elixir of strength plus 5. I hope this will allow me for some more flexibility in my jewelry slots, as potions are the only matter of progression for me now. Lester asked important questions before the golem. I do have blunt weapon, bro. I have 2 of those right here. Punching the animated stone or boulder. I think I saw that in some other game. Something about zombies? Never mind. I said it in my last video, but god damn it is Mountain Fortress fucking amazing in this game. It was already good in the original, but they elevated this place so much in the remake. Every time I'm going here I have a smile on my face, and not even the stupid harpies that are abundant here are going to ruin this feeling. On the contrary, they don't deal much damage with this armor, and once they are in range of my arms, 3 strikes is all it takes to bring them to the floor. I really thought that I will have the most trouble here, but turns out it was the easiest place to get the focus. Last thing here is the normally unreachable chest. I think devs intended this to be available once you get a harpy transformation, but Bloodfly is enough. Once again, spam the attack to maintain the height to reach this point. Open the chest and inside there is a potion of supremacy, plus 4 to dexterity and strength. Also crossbow of war, the best crossbow in the game. Time to go back to Saturas to turn in the stones and then to the old camp to get the fire mages to help us. I just noticed this, but Koristo is trying to cast Rain of Fire spell, which would do absolutely nothing, because this spell is just kind of crap in this game. Wasted attempt, man. Okay, so the fire mages are dead, but we still need the help of one, except Milton. Time to find their former master, Zardas. First things first, a little update to my jewelry. Scorpio moved to Cavalorn's hut and he sells the Amulet of Strength plus 15, which is the best in slot for pure damage. I am really thinking now of doing the Stranger quest, as the reward is the Ring of Greater Invincibility, and the whole chain should not take that long to complete, so of course I will do something completely different, but at the same time should be a bit more beneficial. As you can already tell, I went to Sunken Tower and I am so proud of myself as I did not die even once here. The main thing that I wanted are those teleportation runes, but I was also looking for those permanent potions since last patch moved some of them, so from here I have a nice path to the current tower. With that I can just start hunting golems. Speak of the devil. Just like one from the Mountain Fortress, this stone golem went down after just a 1 round. Honest to God, Fire Golem was almost not worth mentioning, if it wasn't a mandatory fight. Same thing with the Ice Golem, it is not even funny how those boss fights are easier than Tundra Wolves you have to deal with to get to the last one. Get hearts to the demon to get access to the tower. Speak with Zardas to move the plot forward, and I was under the impression, or maybe it was the last patch, that he sold power or supremacy potions, but seems that not yet, maybe in the later chapters. Help Urshak with couple razors, that is very strangely not attacking him outright, and then start the quest for Wulumulu. Now this I am worried about, so I will get the one missing potion that I forgot about for additional help. Near the focus stone at the cliff where Nairas was leading us, go down to the cave with 2 zombies. They are super easy to deal with as they have this 1-2 launch attack. Now open the chest and voila, Potion of Supremacy. Since I am here, I might as well get the thing needed for Ulumulu and punch some greater fire lizards. I donned the robe of dark arts for the occasion, since it has insane fire protection, and as long as they decide to breathe fire at me, I am immortal. Now I decided to do something experimental, and actually I didn't know if this could be done in this chapter, since Zardas don't have the dialogue option to ask for the best armor, but I have the teleportation rune to fire mages, so there is no harm in trying. Worst case scenario, I will just waste some time. Going through the castle took me about 30 minutes of fighting, dying, getting back up, running around, healing, baiting the guards to ease up on the crossbows, and eventually punching and kicking everything to death. But my goal is inside the castle itself, as those warders in the courtyard together with the Ore Barons and Gomez's bodyguards don't have what I need. Because my character don't know about the armor, there is no dialogue option to spare Gomez, and first time I went there he bugged, and I just killed him while he's standing. I felt bad about that attempt, so I did this fight legit. Of course, dying a couple of times in the process, but eventually got a good attempt where I was hit only once, so his key and ring of greater invulnerability are mine. With his key I can go to his chamber to claim 2 things. Or armor, which is already amazing, but also another elixir of strength. Now to see if Stone can be freed, and yes, to my surprise I was able to free him, walk out of the castle, beating half of the camp in the process. Just bear in mind that Blacksmith can die in this fight, so it is crucial to protect him. But once he got a whiff of fresh air, he will start the conversation, and mine was kind of hilarious. One last thing, go to the swamp camp where he should be, give him the armor and wait for a day. That way he will grant me the best armor in the game in chapter 4, and together with 2 rings I have now killer protection against everything. This should smooth out the fights majorly. Let's resume the hunt. I am already at the swamp, so maybe Swamp Shark Mother then. I tried killing swamp sharks before when I had over 100 strength, but man are they tough. And even with the best armor, they still pack a punch. Really, this whole setup is just a safety net during rolls, as they can still hit me then. That said, the mother is down. Great Shadow Beast now. I still have flashbacks from the fight with the normal version, and let me tell you, this one is not easier. In fact, it is significantly worse. I tried dealing with the one in the cave between Old and Swamp Camp, but there is just not enough space there, so after 15 minutes of failing, I moved to a different place a little bit more outdoors. And that changed almost nothing. My problem with this fight is now I can block and not receive a deadly amount of damage, but still his hitboxes are so fucked sometimes that I have zero understanding why I am getting hit half of the time. I am not proud of what I did at this point. Really, this took me an hour of failing over and over again. So the solution was clear. I have to cheese the fight. Block him somewhere to deliver enough damage and eventually finish this beast off in a semi-fair fashion. Just to contrast how difficult that Shadow Beast is, here is the fight with Great Troll, whom I downed on literally first try, and it took me less than a minute to finish this fight. Now to the free mind to take it back and get Ulumulu. Dude, look at me. Do I look I need another armor? Seriously, look at me. Time to unleash Gorn and just look at this clip, as this is the funniest shit I have seen in a while. I cannot wait to do a crossbow only run, to be as annoying as those idiots. How the hell they deal so much damage? Thankfully, we are here with Gorn, who can not only pack a punch but also take one. He's also an excellent floor inspector. He takes the job very seriously. Also, if any guard or member of the old camp lives here, I don't envy them a job of explaining how they lost an entire mine to two guys, from which one of them were just punching really hard. Oh wait, who will this explain it to? Gomez is dead. I don't really need those minecrawler plates, but in this room there is an orcish medicine potion, which gives permanent bonus to health and mana, one of two in the game. Once that is taken care of, I can go to Tarok for Ulumulu. By the way, did you know that this name was a placeholder or some kind of a joke? One of the employees working on the original asked the senior dev how this banner should be named, and he replied, Ulumulu for all I care, and well, nobody changed it since. Finally, after all this time, preparation, sweat and tears, we can enter Orcish Enclave and start Chapter 5, Custodians of the Portal. There is a mandatory honorable fight in the beginning, but against one buffed up orc that is nothing, I immediately went back to Zardas. So now he sells bunch of things I want. 2 potions, Ring of Greater Invulnerability and a recipe for the Potion of Supremacy. I had to sell my left kidney to afford it all, but it is well worth it. After drinking the potions and creating the Supremacy one, I have now 153 strength with only Amulet equipped, which is pretty insane. And I went for those specifically as seemingly they can be missed, as Zardas is restocking after getting Uriziel. At least he was in the previous patches, so I will be able to verify that. First time I did the quest for the High Shaman, and seemingly I can just go inside the temple without anyone attacking me. Even that fight before the barrier itself is not happening. That is very cool. Okay, seems like skeletons don't need much more to start dying from 2 hits. I mentioned it before, but in situations like this, I am adjusting my jewelry to include either more power or defense. So now with the ring, I can take them out in just 2 blows to their bony bodies. After dealing with the first room, just turn on the combination to make way to another. Second hall is much like the first one. Lots of skeletons and their mage. But nothing too fancy. I am glad I got the armor, as it is doing some heavy lifting against the lesser monsters. Enter the chamber of the first shaman, and let me tell you, I could probably parry him, as I can see he has a staff, but that is absolutely not necessary in this case. 1 down, 4 more to go. Temple minecrawlers might be the single most punishing enemy in here. Not only because they're damaged, but there is something in their animation that will do double attack in a single motion as it clips through my character. Next shaman. This one is probably the hardest out of all. He has for some reason the most health, and once he reaches 50% of his life pool, he throws 2 lesser demons into the mix. That is not ideal situation. Still, I managed to beat this unlikable trio on my second try, getting me the second required jewel. I believe there is something wrong with fist parry. I tried for about 5 minutes on those temple guards, as I know for the fact that they deal blunt damage. I experimented with different timings, and not even once I was able to get them off balance and riposte. Or I am just trash at this. But I remember that with two-handed weapons on this difficulty, it was pretty easy to get. Bone Quilt here can be very annoying as he has chain lightning. It can stun and continually damage me. Unless I'll use a secret technique called Flurry of Blows, which removes the ability of such individuals to do anything. Third jewel, moving on. Believe me when I say this, those two mine crawlers before the fire demon boss were way harder than the man himself. He has flashy intro, but who will win? One fiery boy or the guy with really strong hands? The answer might surprise you. By this point I ran out of meaningful healing items, so every fight that was taken was a risk. I started just running around from the enemies to avoid certain death or being very careful. Got some healing items through temple exploration, but really for those demon lords I had to play close to perfect, which as you can see wasn't very hard. Pretty much the same point for the next shaman. He got downed extremely fast and just before his dying breath he tried to cast Storm of Fire, but his attempt got interrupted. Get Uriziel and onto the last one. I think the game knew that Arushand won't live long enough, so it didn't even bother to show me his boss health bar. Well, it was spot on this assumption. Dude died faster than anybody in this accursed place. But finally, I can go back to Zardas. Before concluding this chapter, our necromancer here got a restock of potions, so another 7 strength in the pocket. Through potions of power and strength. So now it is time to finally get Uriziel to its former power. One last thing to do before going ham on Sleeper. Go back to Zardas, don't have anything to sell that would interest me, but I got a couple of scrolls of Harpy transformation from Balkadar, and well, former Archmage of Fire has a potion of supremacy in his inner chamber. So now with all the potions and strength rings plus the amulet, I have 178 strength. I have no idea if I missed anything, but this seems like a lot. Time to beat some demons and cultists. I must say that this run was a lot of fun and way harder than initially expected. The main fact is the problem with parrying. I wasn't able to parry anyone for the life of me, even if that was working with normal weapons on the different playthroughs. However, even if that would work, ability to parry only blunt damage is very detrimental as it would only apply mostly to some NPCs. Fists can be powerful in the beginning, but I really doubt that they are better than a decent one-handed sword. Not even talking about two-handed options, as that can be acquired very early on and just deliver one deadly blow without any proficiency. You just need a lot of strength, which is really the same in this situation. The main offender is the flow of combat with fists. Some animations won't connect if the enemy is not in the right place or just slightly above you. The hand should hit him, but the damage is not there. I suppose there is some wonkiness or bugs to it that could be easily ironed out. So I am hoping that even with that I got the most difficult version of this system and still beaten the game. Final showdown ensues. I swapped rings for protection to endure a little bit more, as it seems that I have already enough damage. Harpies are done in 2 hits. Orcs in the next wave are brittle like a dust, falling in 1 hit regardless of damage you have. I am not even bothering fighting those temple mine crawlers. Like 2 of those at the same time is impossible. But their queen did not even hit me once. So that's something, and Matt got undone in just 1 hit in his stupid face. Friends are next. Diego was probably the hardest, mostly due to his speed and bow. The damage he can dish out in short time can be deadly, but overall the fight is pretty simple. Similar thing with Gorn. If I would allow him to hit me more than once, this fight will be over. But once in a while, it is not that bad. He also had that stupid knockback every 25% of his health, yet even that cannot save him. Milton is as usual the easiest one, as it is a gimmick fight, so there is no skill involved here. Although I must say that he has the coolest looking arena out of them all. Lester is the most annoying one due to the fact that he casts Fist of Wind spell that is just flailing me around the battlefield like a freaking ragdoll. It can also push us far enough to be beaten by the swamp sharks, which is pretty funny. Last is Zardas. The skeletons he summons are killed in 2 hits, so I closed the gap with them as soon as they appeared, so the mage could not spam his firebolt attack, although sometimes I wasn't fast enough and that spell hurts a lot. There was some hiding and healing on my part, as if skeletons are alive, they will chase and Zardas will teleport around to hit me. Mad Kor Kalom is the final boss, and man, he deserves that title. Every attempt starts with me just eating a lot of root soup for regeneration, as the bastard is hard as hell. He has a ton of health and attacks that prevents me from hitting him all the time. Also, some of the tracking of those attacks is just absurd. Like the laser, you have to roll at the exact moment to avoid getting hit, and most of the time you are getting chased by hands, so there is just this fine line between doing damage and staying alive, but in reality staying as close as possible. While avoiding the attacks is the best strategy I found for this, just to not let him do anything else than the melee attacks. Finally, after about 20 attempts, I put him down for good, and the last heart has been pierced, and with it, Sleeper has been banished to the Shadow Realm or Beliar's God Realm, using only Fist for weapon on the hardest difficulty. Thank you very much for watching. Last challenge has been one of my most frequently watched videos, for what I am immensely grateful. It is a joy reading your comments and discussing about this wonderful game. Like the video if you liked it, ring the bell for notifications and subscribe for more games and gaming videos. And as always, Challenger departs.